Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel. This is my very first video. So congratulations on seeing how terrible this one turns out. This is DSP Models. It's a sub channel that is a break off from my regular channel, which is just I literally think it's just, oh, it's DSP TV. See, that's how long it's been since I've done anything with that channel. Here lately, I've just been streaming for the past couple of years and not been posting videos because of just being too dang busy. And I play a lot of games with my buds, and I don't stream a lot, but when I do, it's a stream. Just takes a lot of time and effort, and nursing school is rough. And but anyways, I'm back to it, and this is my modeling channel. As you see, I have two models here. We'll get to that in a second. This is I have just recently really gotten into model building within the past 2 years, I would say, 2.5 now. And it has been very interesting, and I have found that I have a passion for it, and I've actually known that passion just from the start, really. By the way, these two models are not part of what I'm talking about. Bear with me. And I've felt like I have had an audience that I have been narrating for, because I tend to talk myself through what I'm doing when I'm building, and because I have to do lots and lots of planning, because my brain, that's how my brain works. I have terrible memory, so I have to talk myself through stuff, and I do a lot of thinking just to do anything in life. It's just how my brain works, and I've always felt like, so because I watch other YouTubers and everything. I watch all, just like Ian from Sweat Stain, or Pit Stain Hobbies is the name of his channel. He just like him, I watch all the other Star Trek modelers, all the other model builders. I watch them, and when I'm building mine, I feel like I got an audience watching me too. But I've never have pulled the trigger on trying to film, because it's a lot of effort, and my brain works quite slow. So if it would be quite boring, but we're gonna try it and use the power of editing, which I am quite good at. However, I will say these will be very bare bones. It will be much like watching the other model video builder videos, or most of them rather, that where it's a lot of raw footage and just basic editing, because that's really the only way this is going to be viable for me. I'll leave the really professionally done stuff to other products, although this will be as professional as I can make it. Although this is handheld at the moment, don't worry about it. So getting into this, you guys will get to watch me build models now. This is not my first model, as you can see, but this will be the third model that I have ever attempted to do that I would consider like a real model build, a professional model build. These two, I did build. I built these as a kid. Although this one I finished as an adult, right before I actually got into them. It was still just a background hobby. Kid trying to do a decent job, not knowing what he was doing. As you can see, there's like seams everywhere. It's a snap type model. If you guys remember the old snap type models that were everywhere, I'm sure you can still get them in Hobby Lobby and some of the dollar stores. This was the very first one I built as a actual kid. I was in probably the second or third grade. And my cousin gave me this as a gift for Christmas. Gave that one to me too a few years later. And there was another one that went between here that I was extremely proud of that's now destroyed. Because it was not a step type model. I had to actually do a lot of work on it. Painted it and everything. Whereas that one looks like it's not been painted. It looks like it's the molded plastic. Impressively enough, it actually is painted, as you can see by the canopy. This one, however, is not, other than just a few details with the lights and the sensors and stuff on the front. She gave me this one though, and this one I'm glad I've still got 99% of it still intact, because her husband that she married, she used to babysit us growing up before she had kids, and her husband was in Iraq, Afghanistan. He was overseas, and his job was mechanicking these Apache helicopters, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, especially when she gave me a model of it. Because I built this just thinking about and knowing that my cousin was working on this very helicopter all the time, every day, and that was just too cool. And the only thing that is not held up and is missing on this helicopter is right here, this little nut. Sorry, this is not very PC, but growing up, my my grandpa and dad always told me that was called the Jesus nut. That nut on top, because if that came off, that's where you were going. They were both in the Army, so that'll tell you where that term come from, and I'm sure they still say that, even though it's not PC, because that's the Army. Anyways, there was like an antenna looking thing that come off the top of that, and I will tell you, that broke off and I lost it as soon as I built this model. And this will tell you how smart I was. Second, third grade little kid. I was smart enough. I took a lighter and a piece of the sprue from this kit, even though I didn't know what that was called, and I heated it up, stretched it, and made me a brand new one and put on top. And I've probably done that a couple of times over the years, and it is still gone. It's just too easy to snap that little bugger off. So now we have it without it, because I'm just don't put it back anymore. It looks just fine without it. It's a basic little model, but I keep it around because that is where I came from. That's the very first one, and I love that model because of my cousin and the fact that he used to work on them. And then that one is because I love Top Gun, the VF1 Tomcat 114 from the Top Gun movie. And not very good with painting at the time, but there's Little Goose and Maverick in what I could do to make their helmets. The best I could. And it came with stickers. The worst thing ever is when I get a model kit that comes with literal stickers, which is what these are. But these are actually nicer because of, I mean, this one doesn't bother me, but some of them, like this one, came with full color stickers, and that drove me nuts. I can't stand when model kits do that. There's nothing that looks good about them. But so I because I wanted it, it looked nothing like Top Gun, and I wanted this Top Gun because I love that movie. By the way, I built this before the second one came out, and since the second one came out, I really want another kit. Anyways, I painted on the details according to the real plane, and then according to the movie, because they actually were a bit different. All of the details that were in the movie that were on in gray, I penciled in where they went and what they should generally look like with pencil. And I just never got around to actually painting them on there. And it's been so long now, I'm okay with just the pencil. I've moved on. But those are the first two models that I still have that I built as a kid. I will post another video showing what my first actual for real models. It was two of them. It was the first one. It took 2 years. It was the USS Reliant, and I made it as. It was when I first got into this. I bought everything I needed based off of what I had seen other people use, particularly Boyd from Trekworks, and I got. I got all of that. And that's my spray booth. Ignore it. It is not complete. It is a work in progress, and it's got my brother's Stompa or whatever it's called in there. It's gigantic for his Warhammer stuff. He just try to keep it safe. I told him he could store it there since I was at nursing school and not using it. And this is my toolbox full of paint stuff. I'll do a video showing you all my equipment. With all my models and kits. And those are my dad's old kits that are Star Trek starships that are in pieces that I need to put back together. I've finished a couple, but those are what's left. Backstory, my dad inspired me to get into models because he had all kinds of models, especially military and Star Trek. And forgive the noise, that is the garbage running outside. Yay. And we're back. Sorry about that. And getting a little off topic. We're 12 minutes in, and I've not even started what this is about. But I wanted to do a little introduction, and yeah, my dad inspired me, and I will make a video showing all that. I am pretty sure. But moving on to what this is about. My best friend, here a year or so, well, 2 years back now, around the time when I really got into building that first model, which you will see in the other video, he saw how much I love doing it, and he grew up loving Legos, which who doesn't love Legos? And he could relate. And me, him, and my brother, and sometimes my sister would build Lego kits, and still do sometimes when my brother gets a new one. It's just Star Wars Legos, particularly. And several years back, he actually had a huge collection from growing up of Star Wars Lego kits, just huge collection. And he actually gave pretty much the whole collection to my brother. Which we still have here, and we've actually rebuilt several of those with my best friend over the years, off and on, just to have a lot of fun with it. And he saw that I really love building models, and he come over and visited a couple times and saw just how into it I was. And for Christmas, we buy each other Christmas gifts each year. We take turns, and it was his year. And he got me 2 model kits. These 2 model kits. And that was the best thing ever. And I absolutely loved it. And my brother dealing with the garbage. Excuse the noise. He knew what he was doing when he got these. I could go. I could tell you a story about it, but I'm not going to. It was great. But we got this one. Of course, we opened them and looked at them, and this is one of the newer Voyager kits, 1000. I have not done anything with it. It's not this video, not this series. This will be probably the next one, to be completely honest. So there's that one. And then the other one he got me is this one. Obviously, Deep Space Nine is the station, but it also comes with the Defiant, which is one of my favorite ships ever. And then the Cardassian. What is this one? Keldon class. But you can make this like a Gaylord, I think. It's got the parts in there because they look so similar. There's like one major detail that's different between the two ships, and you've got parts for both. Anyways, it's in like a yellowish plastic, but the rest is all clear because this was made for lighting, to make it easy to light, which is right up my alley, and as you will see, and could not wait to get into this one. So as soon as I had the chance, when I finished the Reliant, excuse me, hard to do this with one hand, I cracked this one open. Well, I did the Galaxy Quest model, the Protector, and then I did this one, and I, of course, had to get the photo etch set. I've come to decide that it is not worth doing one of these models without. If you can get a photo etch set, you better get it. If you really want it to if you really want to sell it, pardon the term, that is, you've got to do that. That's all the parts. It's a bunch of clear plastic. It actually comes with a decal sheet. I'll show you. And we're back. All right, so it comes with these water slide decals for the Cardassian ship and the Defiant. However, I bought way better decals for the Defiant that I am going to use instead of these. However, these will not go unused. This kit, because of how they molded the plastic for the sprues, everything's in triplicate with the outer rings of this station. So, and because they molded the parts to the two halves of the Defiant with this, and it's in triplicate, you end up with 3 Defiant models, which is just, fantastic. Excited about that. So one of them will go with this kit. I'm 98% sure I'm going to dock it with the station. We'll see about that though. But one of the 3 will get these, but the one that's going to go with this station is going to get the better ones that I got from HTA Model Works. These are those, by the way. But then the other thing it came with was there's more registries. So I got even extras that I can use on the other ship, which is great on the third one. But this is, if it'll focus, those are all the 10 gazillion windows for the station that will not be used. We are not doing that. We are lighting this model because it's literally made to be lit. So, I'm going to put all this back. I'll be right back. And we're back again. Anyways, there's the kit. Not a whole lot of extra I bought for it. I bought the HTA Model Works decals for this Defiant. And I thought about getting the proper scale because this Defiant is actually a little bit too big for the scale of this. It's not truly to scale with this station, the model of the station. But it's fine because I'm pretty sure in the show, the shots in the opening shots of it docked to the station and everything is, I don't think that ship is completely to scale either, but this one actually is a little too big, but I'm okay with it. I almost got one that was true to scale, but then I thought about the fact I wouldn't be able to get some water slide decals for it, and there's a lot of details on this, and I'm so detail oriented, like that was making my brain hurt, so I just foregone that one, maybe later. But I've got the decals for this, and I bought the photo etch. And the photo etch is almost nothing more than just templates for the windows to make them more accurate than what this kit has stock with for like the promenade windows, as well as templates for all of these sides, because there's no way for you to know where to go without them, really, and you're not going to do that by hand. If you are, you're crazy. So I'm using the templates, and I'm adapting them according to what I find on screen when I using all of my research, which I have tons of, because every model I build I research the crap out of, and then sometimes a lot, because I am very detail oriented, because that's what makes me happy. It is a pain in the butt, and it causes me lots and lots and lots of heartache, but in the end I am the most proud of the final product, because I achieved something different than I saw anybody else do when they built a model, because most people aren't going to go through that kind of effort anyways, and if they do, they're going to choose their battles, and most of the time they're going to choose the least resistance, and I don't for a lot of it, because I want it to be its own thing compared to other people's models, and especially these particular kits I built. On top of, I want it to be as close to what we saw on screen / the actual filming models as I can make them. And that makes me the happiest that I can be at the end of building these, and when I achieve all that. So that is my philosophy for building these models. So bear with me with all the heartache that comes with it. That being said, I have started this model. This is not the beginning. However, for all that I did in the about, I guess, 2 weeks that I worked on it around Christmas last year, and then had to find a stopping point and stop so I could go back to nursing school, I barely put it in. I maybe did 5% of this model, with as much work as I put into that. You will see why, because this sucker is a bear. This being in clear, this being molded in clear sounds like a dream, and let me tell you, it's not. I'm almost to the point where I would have rather, for most of this model actually, I would have rather had an opaque traditional model and drilled the holes and did something different than having to use this clear model kit. Only a certain pieces I would have done clear, because of that would be the best and that'd be the easiest and best way to get the light to go through the windows in certain parts of this model, because of the positioning. And with it being in clear, the light can bounce around and get where you need it no matter what, for the most part. Whereas the majority of this model, you don't need that. You don't need the light to be in places like that, and it would just be way easier just to drill the hole all the way through, instead of just scraping the paint off with the tip of the drill where the windows go. This, you will see as we go through this series, I have already learned that this is going to be a booger bear. This is going to try me. Ian's building the 1/350th scale USS Enterprise, my dream model that I have an original kit for, and I am scared to death of that model for the reasons that he is dealing with now over on his channel, Pit Stain Hobbies. Please go check him out. The stuff he's dealing with is exactly why I'm scared of it, and the fact that I'm not confident in my abilities yet. I'm gonna have to. I'm going to have to build other enterprises on smaller scales, which I intend to, and do lots of practice runs with different models before I get to applying all those techniques I want on that model. Anywho, that's another thing. But as much as problems as he's having with this, I would say I would love to see him try this, but I really don't think he needs to try this. This is going, like, he will hate this thing, from what I'm seeing. But I would love him to prove me wrong. So please go get you one of these clear DS9 kits, Ian. Anyways, I guess I will pause it here, and we will come back with showing you what I have. Well, here's part of it right there. That is what I've built. I have built the power core section with a little runabout and ops. That is the main thing that is finished here. The rest of it is under this towel, which will explain why there's a towel under this box over the mat. You will see. Let me pause the video and you guys will see. Well, one more thing. Sorry, this is very much like watching a Pistains Hobby video, which is where I thought this would probably go, and honestly what made me pull the trigger on doing these videos, because I just knew it was going to be a disaster. I made these up. I drew these out, made copies, so I could draw plans on where my lighting and electronics would go, and drew basic wire paths and give myself an idea. That was, I had it wired in series to try something, and it's not going to work anyways. And don't wire in series if you can get away with it. That's why there's a pencil X across it, if you can see it. We're not going with that. Much better way to do what I was going to do. I'm going to show you. We're going to do some some funny things on trying to get the electronics to work on this one, instead of programming a board or getting a ready-made board. We're doing the budget build here, baby. But we are not losing quality. I guarantee you that. Anyways, I got plenty of things, displays and readouts, and there's another set of notes. Anyways, let me pause this and get things set up, and we'll continue. Alright, I'll show you this with the lights on. Actually, hold on. There's a window, so that's why I can't get completely dark. It looks great in here at night. I got a curtain for that. There, I did something different that I've seen anybody do with ops, and that is include all these little teeny tiny, smaller than you can think windows. They're not perfect, but they are. And I included that. I had to get a hobby knife and carve that out, the window, little oblong window up there, because that's what's on the model. It's what you see in the show, and people, they get to this model and I guess they freak out at the bear that it actually is and just want to get it done, and I can relate. However, and again, most people just aren't going to put that kind of effort. I did. I want it to be as close to what you saw as possible, so I included all those ungodly small windows that I didn't think I'd be able to achieve, and I did. And the ops window up top, there's that, and then here's the power core section with a little bitty runabout. By the way, it does glow. It's not very bright. The reason it's not very bright is purposeful, because in the show it is not a glowing flashlight. It is honestly, when you're at this angle, it looks darked out, just like it does here when you look at it in the show. It's not until you get down here to about this angle you can see that there's light coming through, and that's exactly what I was trying to pull off, was what it looked like in the show. And as you see, I included things here that is not made with this kit, that no one else has done that I've seen on YouTube. I included the other grid, the grid around the pointed part on the bottom. I painted that on and light blocked it best I could, and the stripes, the center stripes on each of the kind of oblong, triangular, rectangular window things around the flatter part, I included those stripes as well. So it is as close as I could get it to what you actually see on screen compared to this part that is in the kit. And then there we go with the runabout, which I managed to get lit as close as I could get to what it's supposed to be. Painted, and forgive the paint job on it, but I mean, y'all don't realize how ungodly small this is. I can't even get it back in focus. It is ridiculously small. Let me put my pinky into view. That's my pinky with a fingernail. It is smaller than my little pinky fingernail. It is ridiculously small, and that is the smallest LED made in the world. It is a Z, I call it Z, size Z LED that I got from Evan Designs, and literally the smallest that I have found that is made in the world. That is what's inside there. It's ridiculous. I tried to make the windows as close to what we saw on the show as well. I'm trying to get it where you can see the inner side of the nacelles are also, they also glow. It's hard to catch that on camera though. It's just so small. You can see where it's glowing, you just can't see them. You can see the residual. Yeah. Insanely small. But there's that. Move that out of the way. And cover it back up. I try to keep dust off of my stuff because I'm out here in a dirty shop. I say dirty because it's a shop and it just stays dirty. That's just how it works. This is the other part I got done. So the two halves of the hamburger, and these are the defensive sails. And I painted these to be, by the way, the colors, if you think the colors are off, you're wrong. These are the actual, from Paramount, these are the actual colors used. And I thought they were wrong too when you look at them, but when you get them painted onto this plastic, to the model, after you've primed it, it actually looks pretty spot on, especially in certain lighting, and I'm sure a color grade would really go the rest of the way. But these are the exact colors that I had to hand mix myself. I had to do a lot of research and hunting to find all of the paint colors. Here, let me show you that. Move these out of the way. Open my paint drawers here. all of these colors. Not that one. Those are the actual colors I mixed. Using all of those. And these. I got spares. But I had to use just... And some of them were just really weird colors. I had to look for the exact numbers and everything. But that's Pantone Warm Gray 5C, Pantone Yellow 110C, and Pantone Red 180C. Those are the exact colors for the what is this? The Deep Space Nine. I wanted to say the Reliant. I built the Reliant for 2 years. It's in my brain. Those are the exact colors, according to Paramount. It was hard to find that, but it can be found. And if anybody wants links to where I found those and everything, leave a comment and I will go find them, because I have them saved somewhere, and I will I'll send them to you. I'll provide them somehow. Just let me know. By the way, if you want something dead flat or dead matte, rather, this is it. Get this stuff. You don't have to put anything with it. It goes straight into the airbrush. It is... I still have a lot of it because I don't need things that freaking matte, because it works way better than I ever would have thought. And so I thought I was going to use a lot and ended up using very little. Just side note there. The top of this is the spray box, amongst other things. Yeah, got all that stuff in it. This stuff's great, by the way. I actually really like the AK line. I found a vendor to buy the stuff that is really nice. It's called Michigan Toy Soldier. That's the store. Look them up. They keep these in stock, and they're really good on shipping, and their pricing is great. I would suggest using them, especially if you use AK products. It's really good quality paint for a acrylic lacquer, and that acrylic lacquer that makes you go, I don't know about that. That's not normal. But it is actually excellent quality paint. You got to learn how to use it. But that was okay for me because I didn't know what I was doing, and I learned how to use it with those. I learned how to paint using those. So after that, painting with anything else is way easier. I really like the paint. Quality is great. Trying to see what that is. Flat yellow. That was one of the nicer, more generic colors that I had to use to mix with. Anyways, back on topic here. We keep getting off topic. I'm telling you, this is how these videos are going to go. But I promise I will get better. This is the first one. I don't know what I'm doing. These, you see the wires. You see the little domes? That is where the light is, and I made an acrylic dome using the Solarez, and then I've got on the very tip of it there is a little bit of liquid latex mask, and so it would paint and I could install it and get everything done, spray the varnish, and then when I'm done, just take the mask off the tips, and we have lights, and they work. I've tested them, I've ran them forever, and like, we shouldn't have any problems. But those are they all have red lights on the top and bottom. This is the next part of this model. I built that part. This is the next part that we're going to be working on. we've got to put lights inside of this facing, I think we're going to do it facing up. Yeah. Facing up on the bottom, and then on this side facing down on the walls of the underneath it. This is the habitat ring. That's what I couldn't think of a while ago. We're gonna back out some, make this a little easier. Yeah. Focus. We'll put facing down on this side, and there will be one, three or five. That was like a 5mm LED, white LED will go right there for the promenade, because I want them to be a particular color and have their own light source because of that, to match Ops over there, because it is a brighter, more bluish white color. I want those to match because that's your focal point. You want to pay attention to those windows, although some of them's a little boogered. I'm gonna try to get those to face towards what I am claiming to be the back side. Orientation is important too. I am very particular with the orientation of how this is going to be sitting, as far as what I want the front viewing part to be, and it's based on screenshots that I've got, and everything is going to be in the exact alignment that we saw from the model, at least the model used in the opening. And because of that, I've got a particular orientation for everything, so just note that. But anyways, gotta put these, I'm gonna use light strips, probably about 3. Yeah, probably about 3 facing downward in this, and then use light strips for each of these little sections facing upward on this one. And we've got to get these fitted into these grooves and then put it all together. But before we can marry these two pieces together, we've got to put Ops on top of here in such a way that, which is why the top of Ops doesn't have all the little antennas and doodads on top, is because I don't want to break them off. Those will probably be the last thing that gets put on in this entire model, is those things. It's got to go on top of this. That's why I need to put those first. I am terrible at soldering. Bear with me with my solder skills because I don't know how people do it correctly. I try my best to do it exactly the way I see everyone else do it and have read about, and I am awful. I'm god awful. I'm trying, but it takes me forever. But I will solder these first and then flip this over, attach everything, pull my leads, put that other bulb. Everything will be ready, setting to go, so that when I turn it over, I can attach this. And then, same here. This will be completely done, ready to be put together, sandwiched together, before I attach the fusion reactor core, because I have to turn it over, and it's got pointed apart, and it will break, just like the other. And then I gotta figure out how to attach these and put this together, because the wires and all have to go in it and be soldered and have the leads go. Like, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to build the bottom first, I think, and have it propped up, and then marry these to that, and have everything soldered, ready to go, and my leads ran. At least one side will have leads hanging out somewhere for the rest of the station, which I have to be careful on that as well, because these are going to be strobe flashing. What's going to run this strobe flash for these is also running for the docking pylons. They're all going to flash together because from what I've seen, that is actually correct for the show. They're all red and they're all flashed the same rate and intervals together. Which is why that note is there. Red, flash at same rate and interval together. Prop this up, attach these, run the wire, get everything ready so that I can attach that. And once I've done all that, then I got to deal with the seam. And the seam, that is where this becomes a bear. Is not just the seam, but just light leak in general. All of these pretty details and grooves and fanciness, as nice as all that looks, it creates nightmare for like wicked light leaks everywhere. And I can't tell you the amount of paint that is on the top, just the top, before I even got the actual paint on it, just all the primer and everything, just to get the light leak. And then I couldn't get all, so I ended up coming in and putting several layers of black before putting the white over it on just those particular areas that I know windows are not going to be, just to get rid of all the light leaks. Oh my gosh, you guys will see. And then when I get to the seam that's its own freaking booger. I had to deal with that one, and this was on such a small scale. It was actually really nice as far as light leaks. This is gonna, I can tell you, because windows are also going to be falling right where the seam is as well. Like, this is why I say I think I would rather have had this kit in opaque and just have certain parts that, like certain parts of this fusion reactor and especially this, the ops, those be clear. That would be great because of the way light works on the inside of the kit, just to get the light where I wanted it to. But the rest of this needs to be in not clear. Like, this is a nightmare. But we're gonna deal with it. Alright, it's friggin' almost 50 minutes in and we've not done anything but talk. I am so sorry, guys. Hopefully you've got the basic plan of what I've got going on here. I'm gonna explain what the next thing we gotta do, and it has to do with these. It's been like 2/3 of a year, better part of a year, since I did anything with this, and I had a specific plan on how to make, the lights flash together and all, how to make that work. And I cannot find at least the important detail. I found some of the details wrote down, but I can't find the most important how it works details wrote down, because I'm an idiot, I guess. There we go. Sorry, focus was bothering me. How to make these work with the little bitty board I'm using. So what we're gonna have to do today, if nothing else, is test wire these together with the board and figure out the proper way to make it work. And then it's probably going to be smart, because I can't remember if I did it or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but I'm going to do it again. If I didn't, it's going to be because of the reason that I'm going to find out probably, which is I don't have enough lights. I got to order more. I burnt through a lot of them trying to do this. I don't even want to get into that. That was ridiculous. I need 6 more of these lights. It will probably make them dimmer because I'm running it off of that same little chip, control chip. But I don't think it's going to make them too dim. But I need to test it. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to test these on the right circuit that I've got planned for them to make sure they're working the way I want them to. And then we'll go from there. Once we know that, we can move on to soldering and gluing in all the LED strip lighting for these. One thing I want to do about the top of this, which is trying to fill that in, that made it a booger bear. I want to put the little corner red indicator lights for these landing platforms for the runabouts. I want to put those there. And I think because of how I did this, I'm going to have to actually drill it all the way through and fill it in with some resin, which is going to be so small I don't know how I'm going to get that done. We'll try it. And put a drop of like clear red and just let the residual light those as well, because I'm not going to make them flash. There's no need. And I think that would also scale the lighting for them to where they're not overly bright for no reason as well. They'll be just like the window lights, maybe even a little dimmer with the clear red, which is just what I want. I don't want them to be super noticeable. I want them just enough to go, hey, look at that. That's just like in the show. That's all I'm going for. But they're going to be so tiny. Probably the smallest drill bit I have, and I will probably go through all of them as clumsy as I am. I hate to do it. But that's the other plan, because I do want them. I even included them on my little plan sheets here somewhere. Oh, right there. I drew them on with a little color pencil. By the way, I just realized it's loud as hell because I forgot to turn that off for the past like 10-15 minutes of this video, and I am very sorry. Hopefully you can hear everything. I will try not to do that anymore. Be back. Welcome back. Got everything set up now. That monster over there is turned off. We'll just try not to sweat too much. Try not to sweat too much. I was looking through these and I found where I was smart. I prepped a lot. I prepped all these. I was ready to go to start, and then I had to make a stopping point, and so I've got them all labeled and ready to go. I just got to put them in. However, I still got to test. I got to test this because I don't remember how I had to do it. And this is the controller chip. Controller. These are filled with Pico LEDs, SMDs. That's what are in there. Pico red ones from Evan Designs. Majority of all this come from Evan Designs. Some of it came from HDA Model Works. Oh, that was a magnet bag I'm using for something else. Anyways, great places to shop, especially for electronics for this stuff. Anyways, but there's my controller. This is my slow flash circuit. And something else. Not sure. But look at this. This is, look, Z. Size Z. Here's my other runabout that I painted. It has a light. Teeny tiny in there. And the other runabout is in there that is still clear. Completely unfinished. It's in there as well. It's so teeny tiny I was scared I was going to lose them. The parts, so they're in there. There's that. there's the light that goes in here. Let me see. I'll tell you what size light this is. I want to say it's a 5. Okay. 3 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 5. Yes, that's 5 millimeter. So 5 millimeter cool white LED. I took some sandpaper and I scuffed up, diffused the bulb on it. Which I do a lot. And this is a bag of all the pre-cut 3 light double density cool white light strips for all of this. I think it's literally for all of it. Docking pylon strobes. I'm not sure what that means. There's 6 of them. I think these are these. I think they're the same thing. And I've got them already pre-twisted. By the way, no resistor on these, so I gotta be careful. No resistor on these. This has got a built-in resistor. I'm pretty sure when I talked to, I think her name was Shelly, at Evan Designs, she always is the one that answers my questions. Shout out to Shelly. I believe that's your name. I'm sorry if it's not. I believe she told me that this has got a resistor in it, which it does. I can feel it. As long as I've got them wired properly, and I'm trying to remember how she said to do it. I spent over an hour trying to remember last night. They'll all run off the same resistor that is built into this. Don't need to add any more resistors. As long as they're all the same color. This was built for the red ones. As long as they're all red, it will be fine. If I add a white, then I have to add a resistor for all the white. I do know that. I did write that part down. Anyways, let's just try it. We'll probably skip ahead here to facilitate that. We won't go through me working on a lot of this. There's no need. I'm gonna do this a lot like Ian at Pit Stain Hobbies because, by the way, please go watch his channel. That name may put you off. It's kind of off-putting. However, if you watch his content, it's fantastic. It's great entertainment, and it's fun to watch that type of a builder learn as he goes with hard, stupid junk like the kit that he's working on right now. This type of stuff, and that's very much what I do anyways. And he's got a great sense of humor, and if you ever watch his stuff, the type of humor that he has falls right in line with the name of his channel, in a very cheeky way that makes you smile, but not for grotesque reasons. It is very appropriately named, his channel. So please go watch Ian at Pit Stain Hobbies. Anyways, where was I going with that? By the way, Ian, I would love a sticker. I'll try to call you out, but if I call you out, 10,000 people's called you out on one of your mistakes. So I usually don't. But I would love one of your stickers to put on my black toolbox here that I keep all my paint stuff in. I've already got where RPP Hobby Store, I bought some for them around Christmas, and they sent me a sticker that was Christmas themed, and it was actually 2 stickers. So I've got 2 different places here. One of them's a gearhead, and I've got my Iwata sticker on there. I want to collect stickers from all of my other model community and other model channel and like HTA Model Works, Antenna Control. I would like, and Evan Design. I would like stickers from all of those places to just collect and put all over this toolbox to showcase. I really, that's something I want. So Pistain Hobbies, feel free to send me one, Ian. Thanks. Anyways, that's where I was going with it. This is going to be very much like his, where we're going to skip all the dirty, stupid stuff and just go straight to me explaining what I did and what went wrong or what went right, or what I need to do next, or talking aimlessly, which is what most of this is. Sorry. Be back. Okay, take 2. So I forgot to turn this stupid machine off again, the air conditioner. I got it all wired up really shabbily and just temporarily soldered together, and they're working just like they're supposed to. This one is, I probably didn't do it very well. These work. You can't see them at all because they're light blocked on the inside, and they got layers and layers of paint and light blocking, and latex on the tips and everything. But they work. I tested them for a long time before, and they work. You just can't see them. They're wired too, because I needed to test how dim they would be with 12 of them together, and they're actually quite appropriate. So we're good. This is the same rate and interval, pretty dang close, as what you see in some, I'm going to use the word some, because it's shot to shot. Like they just kind of made things up as they went, naturally. But particularly for the opening credit sequence in particular, this is pretty close to the right rate and interval that they flash in the show. So I'm happy with that. So now we know that this works and how to wire them properly. I'm pretty sure this is called parallel. It's definitely not in series. Don't do that. Unless you just really have to, which I have done before. So now I can finish my plan, which is because they're done this way, I can have a wire lead and them all just tied into that wire lead as it goes around, which is a lot what I like doing anyways. As long as the very proximal end of that lead goes to the distal lead of this board, so that I just got to make sure that everything attaches to this board in the end before it goes to power. The power goes to the board, and then the board goes to the lights. And then have a lead for each of those that are specifically for these outside of this when I get it put together. I guess sticking out right there out of one of these. Yeah. I have a lead sticking out right there. Just pick one, I guess. Yep. Okay. I have to talk myself through this stuff a lot to make sure that I don't screw it up, because if it can be screwed up, I definitely will if I'm not careful. And even with being careful, I will do it. Like, I'm accident prone and clumsy as crap. And I have terrible short-term memory, specific short-term memory, like that phenomenon, like doorway phenomenon, whatever people call it, where you walk through a door, like you have something on your mind, but then you walk through a doorway and what you were thinking about is gone, and you don't remember what you were thinking. Like you go to get an item out of a room, and as soon as you walk through the doorway, you forget what you went in there for. Like, that is me to the max degree on anything with any. And it doesn't even have to be with a doorway. Like 2 seconds later, I will forget what I was trying to keep myself from forgetting. I'm quite dumb. I'm not dumb, but like I hate my brain, at least in that aspect. So that's why I talk myself through this a lot over and over and over again. I will try to cut as much of that as I can, because it's for my benefit, not yours. Although it might help you to understand what I'm doing sometimes, because I'm kind of scatterbrained at times. Anyways, so this is working. Next thing on the to-do list is to wire these babies in. Already got them all cut. And pre-soldered and everything. And like this one, I got this one done too, and already put the shrink wrap on it. Like, I did myself some work, some prep work. Proud of myself for that. I gotta unsolder all this crap. I want to do that, and then we'll start putting these in, and then I will check back in when I'm done with that. Alright, and we're back. And as you can see, I've got all of the strip lighting in both sides. And flicker. They work. There's no lights around here because I have to seal it up first and then put the windows on the edges. So I have to seal this up and completely paint it before I can do the windows on the ring. But all of that's done. This isn't in, obviously, and I'll tell you why. When I put this onto the top side of this piece, the wires, it has wires, have to come through the same hole. I got a little extra notch on the edge of it where this bulb goes. And if you wonder what all of that ugly green and red scrabble is, it's I had this idea that you would be able to see through the plastic better than you can. And I was trying to create the illusion that there was something in there, because that's where the promenade is. But that's not how these windows work. They are diffused like hell. So it didn't matter. So whatever. But that's what that's from. I just left it. Anyways, it's a piece of styrene I stuck there to separate the light from the bottom, and the light is it also is holding it in place to this bulb. But anyways, all those wires got to go through the same hole, and so it will be installed last. And the leads will attach to the same little bundle, and then I'll run the leads out. But and they will attach to these. But because I don't want to risk tearing this up, it's going to go on last so that it can be turned over and set upright where this is on top. But we're almost there, because the very next thing that needs to happen is we got to marry all this together. So next time we do this, which will be tomorrow or whatever, next video, we will set up a standing rig that's going to hold this semi-permanently. Hold this up high enough that this is at least this far up off of the table, off of the workbench here. And get it married together, these wires through the hole that I made, and once that's glued together and ready to go, then I've got to attach all of these, unsolder the ends for one thing, but I got to attach all of these and run the wires and leads separately from these. That's why I went ahead and put the shrink tubing on all of these, which these are still loose. I need to tack them down with some glue, but need to wire manage these separately because they're going to be on a control switch, control board, chip, whatever. Once I get these in, that's the tricky thing, is I think what I'm going to have to do is just have these loosely, not completely glued in, but just loosely. See, that would be complete. We're just going to have them loosely like that, where the wires are just barely hanging there. And then once the two halves are glued together, we'll slide them in and permanently glue them. That way we don't have any misalignments happen with our defense towers, defense sails, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, next thing is this, getting this propped up on a stand and glued with that. It's because the ends are not soldered, they're just kind of held together with the clips, because it's not permanent. This attached to the bottom of it, and those wired in. That's the next step. And then we will work on putting the ops on the top of here, run the wires through. This will also have to be propped up in order to do that. And put this bulb right there, wire them all up, which everything can be wired on the same circuit, except for these defensive sails because they're animated. They've got a little chip. Everything else can go on the same circuit because they're just static lighting. Then when I get both halves ready, I can take and marry them together. And once I have this whole structure together, then I can fill in all the seams. That's when the real hard work actually starts. And when this starts giving me a bad headache, because the wicked white light leaks that are going to happen. It's going to be awful, but we're going to deal with it. Because it's got to be completely done away with all light leaks, all seams, everything completely sealed before I can drill the first window. And I think what I'll do is the same thing I did with these, is I will go ahead and put a coat of varnish. I'll put a clear coat on this. the whole thing before I start drilling the windows to protect my paint. Because it'll get more, but we're just trying to protect the paint as we go. But that will be the next video. That is the plan. And then we'll move on from there. This is the only thing I have painted and prepped or anything. The rest of the kit is in the box as the raw kit. So you'll get to see more work on those, and you'll get to see what I mean about the damn light leak problem with this clear kit. It is so hard to keep all the fine detail with the amount of paint. There's fine lines and stuff that were pretty clear on this plastic, on like the top edge of this, and on the promenade windows especially. They had those separation lines between each one, and they have all but disappeared on some of them, and then some of them have completely disappeared. It just looks flat because of just the sheer amount of paint that had to be layered on there to get rid of all the light leaks. Because where there's an edge, light will come through. But that's going to do it for this one. I am so sorry that this one is as long as it's going to be. I've got like an hour and a half of footage to edit through. Hopefully this will be no longer than 45-ish minutes long. I don't want it to be any longer than that. I didn't want it to be that long, but it's the first video, so there was a lot of explaining that I was doing, whether it was necessary or not. And I tend to ramble anyways. I'm very quiet. If you get to know me in person, I'm very quiet. But then if I actually get to talking like I'm doing here, I can ramble on and on and on. But there you go. I hope people find the video. I hope you guys are intrigued and want to keep up with this build series. I am going to do my best to keep up with the whole thing now that I have committed. And I'm pretty good with following through on things because I don't start it unless I can. So you'll get to follow this whole series, and like I said before, I think I mentioned it, part of the reason I'm doing this series is so that my best friend who bought this kit and the Voyager kit for me, this also gives a video journal of the build, so he could get to see me build this. Because part of why he's been bugging the crap out of me since he bought this for me was he really wants to see what I do with it. And he wants me to have fun building this. And so I'm going to try to share that experience with him a little bit by making these videos. So it's like a trifecta thing going on with all the different reasons. So thanks for watching. I like and subscribe, all that jazz if you want to. I'm typically not going to say all that stuff. Just thanks for watching. Do leave me some comments though. Encouragement, criticism. Tell me how stupid I am for how I wire and solder stuff. Whatever. Suggestions would be great if you have any. I'm very new at this. I'm 2 years in building real lit, very detailed models like this, and this is the third one I'm building ever. One of which took 2 years to build for various reasons, and then part of that was my entire model shop got broke into and stolen. Left the model intact though, miracle. But I had to go a while without any of my stuff. But then that's in the past. But the next model I built in like a couple weeks, both of which are really nice. I will post a video showcasing those. I probably, if not, there'll be links to pictures and stuff, I'm sure. If you're part of Sci-Fi Model Action Facebook group that Boyd over at TrekWorks created, I've got pictures of those models when I finished them here this past Christmas on Sci-Fi Model Action. So look for those. I'll try to link them if I remember. But thanks for watching, and hopefully this outro isn't 20 minutes long like it felt like. I'm sorry. Catch you in the next one.